And so our topic today is all about what is the shape of Philippine art or form of our art. So here is an introduction. Philippine art is one of the richest treasure of our nation because it mirrors who we are as Filipinos. It takes many forms: painting, sculpture, weaving, pottery, performance, music, and even digital art. These forms are not just creative expression but also reflections of our identity, history, and struggle as a people. From the earliest indigenous tradition to modern digital works. So Philippine art evolves with time, showing the resilience and creativity of the Filipino spirit. So Philippine art is important because it reflects our identity, history, and culture as Filipino. It shows how we are express ourselves through different forms like painting, music, dance, and digital art. By studying it, we learn how our tradition and struggle shape who we are today and how art continues to strengthen our nation. So, ang Philippine art pod kay mao po ni siya usa naghatag kung unsa ta karon as a Filipino. Nakatabang po ni siya as a strong as Filipino. So next, objective of this report. So to explore the different forms of Philippine art, to understand how history and culture shape Filipino creativity, and to recognize the role of art in reflecting and strengthening our nation identity. So next is background context or the historical background of the topic. So indigenous root or ethnic and pre-colonial forms, Philippine art was originality, functional, and symbolic. So forms pottery, weaving, tattooing, wood and metal carving, jewelry, ritual dances, epic chants, and architecture or bahay kubo or rice terraces. So ang indigenous roots kay nagkuha na siya na may mga ritual like napoy mga subanin dance or kanang sa mga sanoy kasalan ay subanin sa subanin. So the next is colonial influences or Spanish, American, and Japanese. So in Spanish era, religious paintings, Baroque church, santos or sculpture of saint, and literature with Christian themes. So in American era, modern education introduced Western techniques, leading to expressionism and realism, a more solus pastoral landscape. So the next is Japanese era, art of survival and propaganda focus on resilience. So in number 3, about the nationalist and modernist forms. After independence, artists sought to defend a Filipino identity in art. Victorio Idadis and the 13 moderns broke from tradition using abstract and modernist forms. Botong Francesco used large mural to narrate Philippine history and culture. So the next is contemporary Philippine art. Today, art forms are diverse, experimental, and global. Includes includes performance art, installations, film, digital art, and street art. Themes and politics, migration, urban life, and identity and globalization. So the next is, here is the artist of the Philippine art. So Juan Luna, Fernando Amorsolo, Carlos Botong, Francisco, Victorio Idadis, Benedicto Cabrera or Bencab. So here is the work of the artist. So is Polarium by Juan Luna, Dalagang Bukid by Fernando Amorsolo, Bayanihan sa Bukid by Carlos Botong Francesco, Mother and Daughter by Victorio Idadis, and the last Sabil in Blue by Benedicto Cabrera or Bencap. So, Juan Luna, 1857 or 1899, Juan Luna is one of the most celebrated Filipino painters of the 19th century. He is the best known for his masterpiece, Spolarium, which won the gold medal at the Madrid Exposition in 1884. So Juan Luna is the one most na siya nga celebrated sa Filipino nga painters in 19th century. So nakadaog po na siya o gold medal by the Spolarium. So the next is Carlos Botong Francesco is a national artist for the painting and the best known for his large-scale murals that depict historical events and Filipino culture. His works can be seen in places like Manila City Hall and the Philippine General Hospital. Unlike Amorsolo's soft rural images, Botong's style was more dynamic, filled with movement, bold lines, and vibrant colors. His murals brought history to life, making him an important culture storyteller for the Filipino nation. So si Carlos Botong or Francesco, Carlos was a national artist for painting known for his colorful murals and showed Filipino history and culture. His artwork were full of life and movement, making him a good storyteller of Filipino people. So si Carlos ko na siya, national artist na siya, kay nakuan siya sa, known siya for colorful nga murals, like kanang mga colorful nga mga paintings. So the next is Fernando Amorsolo in 1892-1972 is often called the grand old man of Philippine art and was the first national artist of the Philippines in 1972. He became famous for his romanticized depictions of rural life, landscape, and Filipino tradition. His painting often features women in traditional clothing, rice fields, fiestas, and the warm glow of the Philippine sun. Amorsolo's works give Filipino a sense of beauty and hope, especially during times of hardship. He preserved as the image of Philippines as a land of peace, simplicity, and abundance. So, Fernando Amorsolo, first national artist of the Philippines na siya, was known for paintings for rural life, nature, and Filipino tradition. So na ila po na siya as a artist kay like na iyang mga painting rural life abot na mga province nga mga life like ng mga bukid or magtanom. Na siya painting mo na iyang mga paintings, nature and Filipino tradition. His artwork showed beauty, hope, and simple joys of the Filipino way of life. So the next is Victorio Idadis, 1895-1985, is known as the father of modern Filipino art, unlike Amorsolo, who painted idealist and romantic scenes. Idadis introduced modernism, which emphasized bold colors, distorted figures, and realistic depiction of society. His work often portrayed the struggle of the working class and the darker realities of life. At first, his style was criticized for being ugly, but over time it gained recognition for its honesty and originality. So, si Victorio Idadis, the father of modern Filipino art, nag-introduce siya modernism with bold colors and distorted figures, with work show the struggle of ordinary people, giving a more honest view of Filipino life. So the next is Benedicto Cabrera or Ben Cab. In 1942%, popularly known as Ben Cab, is a contemporary artist and a national artist for visual arts. He is considered one of the most successful modern painters in the Philippines. His works often explore themes of social reality, identity, and Filipino life. One of his most famous subjects is the sabel, a symbol of homeless woman he once saw, which became a presentation of suffering, poverty, and strength. Ben Cab's arts combines traditional themes with modern style, and he continues to inspire both local and international audience. So, si Ben Cab is a national artist as a visual art na siya. Iyang ginama is a visual art. Known for modern paintings that reflects Filipino life and struggle. So, like, iyang mga paintings kay nag-reflect siya sa kanang mga Filipino life o mga struggle life. Muna yung ginagama nga painting about sa reflect. His famous subject, sabel, katong sabel and blue. His artwork symbolize poverty, strength, and resilience. So the next discussion is given to Miss Jovelyn Iba.
Okay, this is the continuation report of Arjun Ilyas. Main discussion, traditional and folk forms. Philippine traditional art is rich and diverse. Each region has unique expressions that show cultural heritage. Traditional and folk art, this is all about the rich cultural heritage sa Philippines. Think tinalak weaving, the monongal jar, and bulol wood carvings. These aren't just art, they're connected to spirituality and everyday life. Kini nagpakita sa atong mga tradisyon ug pagtuo. Second is classical and academic art. When the Spaniards colonized the Philippines, art became heavily influenced by religion and Western academic styles. Classical and academic art, when the Spaniards came, art changed. Churches were full of morals and santos. Artists learned Western styles for religious themes. Nai-impluwensya sa relihiyon o sa mga katsila. Amorsulos paintings show the beauty of the rural areas. Third one is modern and contemporary Philippines. By the 20th century, artists began to break away from traditional and academic styles. Modern and contemporary art. In the 20th century, artists like the Adaids and Francisco broke away from tradition. They used bold colors and nationalistic themes. Murals became a way to teach people about the country and its identity. Nagsugod ang bag-ong estilo nga mas moderno o nagpakita sa atong nasudnong pagbati. Okay. Proceed ta sa contemporary forms. Number 1, mixed media and installations. These forms combines different materials and art techniques to create something unique. For example, an artist might use paint, wood, metal, and plastic, fabric, or even everyday objects in a single work of art. Mixed media and installation, this art combines different materials like paint, wood, metal to create something unique. Ang mga installations kay dagko nga artwork nga pwede ka maglakaw-lakaw og experience. This is to show art can be anywhere, not just on canvas. Number 2, street art and murals. These are artworks painted or drawn on walls, public spaces, and streets. They are accessible to everyone, not just to people who visit museums. Purpose street art often carries social, political, or cultural messages, making it a form of protest, awareness, or celebration of Filipino identity. Street art and murals, these artworks are painted on walls and public spaces, so everyone can see them, not just museum goers. Ang street art sagad nagpakita og social issues o nag-celebrate sa identity. It's a way to show art to everyone. Number 3, performance and conceptual art. This kind of art focuses not on physical object but on the action or idea itself. Performance art may involve the artist's body, movement, music, or audience participation. Performance and conceptual art, this focuses on the idea, not just the object. Performance art may involve the artist's body, movement, or music. Ang conceptual art, nag-challenge sa traditional nga pagtanaw sa art. It's about making people think. Number 4, digital and new media art. Art created using technology, computers, video, and the internet. This includes digital painting, video installation, animation, online art, exhibits, and even video game design purpose. Digital and new media art, this uses technology, computers, video, and internet. Apil ani ang digital painting, video installation, o online art exhibits. It's about keeping art relevant in digital age and reaching more people through social media. Wait sa i-post na namin. Modern day. Modern siya. Sige, proceed ta sa themes. Number 1, urbanization. As cities grow and rural areas transform, artists capture the changes in landscapes, culture, and daily life. Murals, photography, and installation often highlight problems like traffic, pollution, poverty, in urban centers, and the loss of nature. Number 2, migration. Many Filipinos work abroad as overseas Filipino workers or OFWs. This experience of leaving home, dealing with separation, and struggling in foreign lands is a strong theme in literature, film, and visual art. Artworks often explore homesickness, family, sacrifice, and the search for identity in a globalized world. Number 3, identity. Filipino artists often ask, what makes us Filipino? This theme explores our cultural heritage, traditions, and the blending of Eastern and Western influences. Some artists highlight indigenous roots, while others show the modern Filipino identity shaped by colonization. Number 4, political resistance. Art has always been a tool for protest and awareness. Contemporary Filipino artists continue this by creating works that criticize corruption, human rights issues, and inequality. Street murals, performance art, and even music are often to inspire a change and challenge authority. Proceed ta sa modern day relevance. From past to present, Philippine art continues to reflect Filipino resilience, diversity, and creativity. It is not frozen in time but constantly adapting. Modern day relevance, Philippine art still shows Filipino resilience, diversity, and creativity. Dili kini static, nag-usab-usab kini. It's not frozen in time. Lesson from art, it shows how Filipino preserve their tradition while also embracing change. Lessons from art, it shows how Filipinos preserve tradition while embracing change. Nagpakita kini kung giunsa nato pag-amping ang atong kultura samtang nag-adaptar sa bag-ong panahon. Personal or national reflection, Philippine art proves that creativity is tied to survival. It is how we resist colonization, tell our stories, and express our identity. Personal or national reflection, Philippine art shows that creativity is tied to survival. Pinaagi sa arte, atong gipakita kung giunsa nato pagbatok sa kolonisasyon, pagsulti sa atong mga istorya o pagpahayag sa atong identidad. It tells our stories and expresses our identity. Connection to current issues. Murals are used today as tools for political resistance. Murals are used for political resistance. Ang mga mural gigamit karon isip pamaagi sa pagpahayag sa atong mga baruganan sa politika. Indigenous practices and crafts are being revived and promoted as symbols of pride. Indigenous practices and crafts are revived and promoted as symbols of pride. Gipabuhi pag-usab ang mga karaan nga mga buhat o gipasiugda isip simbolo sa atong garbo. Third one is digital platforms allow Filipino artists to share their work globally. Digital platforms allow Filipino artists to share their work globally. Ang digital nga mga plataporma nagtugot sa mga Filipinong artista sa pagpaambit sa ilang mga buhat sa tibuok kalibutan. Kusigta sa conclusion. Philippine art is diverse and ever-changing. It includes traditional folk practices, colonial influences, modernist movements, and contemporary digital expressions. Through all of this, it has carried the Filipino identity, our struggles, resilience, and creativity. Across time, contemporary Philippine art reflects the realities of modern life. Using new forms like installation, street art, performance, and digital media, it addresses important themes such as urbanization, migration, identity, and political resistance, showing that art is not only for beauty but also for awareness and change. In this way, Filipino artists continue to keep creativity alive while giving voice to the struggles, hopes, and identity of the people. Final thoughts. Philippine art is not about creativity. It is a reflection of who we are as a people. It connects the past with the present, the local with the global, and the personal with the national. As art continues to evolve, so does our identity. It reminds us of our roots while guiding us toward new expressions and new ways of being Filipino. 1, 2, go.